Hi, everybody. Welcome to Courage Tuesday, where I talk about where the courage work comes alive in my real life. And today we're going to talk about empathy. Um, let's talk about what empathy is not first. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's easier to name what is not versus name what is. It's easier to understand what is not versus what is. We may not know what the right thing is always, and definitely not always be able to agree on what the right thing is. We almost always can agree on what the wrong thing is, though. And so, what empathy is not agreeing with how someone feels about everything. Agreement is not required of empathy. Empathy is not taking on someone else's emotions. You are not the savior, not your job to take on other people's emotions. Boundaries are very, very important when it comes to empathy. If I took on everything that people shared with me, if I took on everyone's emotions, I'm not sure I'd be breathing. Uh, we cannot take on other people's emotions. We're not responsible for other people's emotions. This is not empathy. Empathy, though, is also not feeling for someone. Like, it's not like I feel it for you. That is not empathy. Empathy also is not like fixing you or doing something for you that you need and must do for yourself. Empathy does not mean that I don't hold you accountable to what is okay with me. Empathy does not mean that I let you get away with things that are not okay with me. Empathy is not all these things. What is empathy? Empathy is to feel with people because I have this incredible brain, pretty simple in how it's wired, yet incredible brain. We have the ability as human beings to imagine, to wonder, to imagine what it might be like for someone to be going through something. I can imagine what it's like to be you. Yes, within my own limitations, for sure. It is not possible for me to walk in your shoes. It's not possible for you to walk in my shoes. We don't have the same size feet. We don't have the same size body or color skin. Like, we can't walk a mile in one another's shoes. We can imagine what it might be like, though. We have that ability. It requires humble curiosity. More than that, we can freaking ask people what it's like to be them. What are they experiencing? What are their feelings? What are their thoughts, their opinions, their beliefs, and where do those things come from? Empathy is born of humble curiosity. Empathy is witnessing one's lived experience. And then when they tell you what their lived experience is, you believe them. Now, it doesn't mean we don't love people well with boundaries and accountability and things like that, especially if we're in relationship. If I'm in relationship with you and you are sharing something hard and tough with me, and I want to, and I am going to work very hard to always meet you with empathy. I'm going to seek to understand your lived experience. That does not require me to agree with how you're experiencing it. It simply requires me to get humble and curious about what it's like to be you and to ask you what's that like, and to believe you when you tell me. And yet, if there is something that maybe your perception is skewed, or you're doing or saying something that is not well, it's not aligned with your values or maybe my values, we get to have that accountability conversation. And it sounds something like, man, that's really hard, and that sucks. And I can imagine like how you might be feeling, and I'm trying to understand how you're feeling, and I'm wondering if you're feeling sick and overwhelmed and really anxious, and that's really, really, really hard. And I love you a whole lot. And I'm wondering if some of the reasons you're feeling those things is because you're on your phone all the time, doom scrolling. You're not getting enough sleep. You are consuming things that are not good for you or for your brain. You're not talking about your pain or your history with someone or with anyone. You haven't asked for help. All these different things, like I can feel with you and still call you into the work, into your values. Empathy is, for me, the imagination, the communication, the asking of what your experience is like. And I want to listen to your story and believe you. And I hope that you listen to mine too.
Hi.
Hi. All right. So just realized I'm in a different shirt. So I was recording Courage Tuesday, and I had 2 podcast interviews scheduled after that. And something that I'm learning about the platform Riverside is that even though I feel like I should be in a different studio, it's still my studio. And so when I was recording this week's Courage Tuesday, my friend Rose, who is my next appointment for interviewing for my podcast, because yes, I have a podcast coming out this fall. I have not even said that publicly yet, except for on my Instagram stories, but she popped in to make sure that her technology was working like 7 minutes early. So she technically interrupted my Courage Tuesday. So one, what we can bet is that when I have technology issues, I can pretty much assume that I'm going to have trouble uploading this too. That is when the enemy really wants to stop what I have to share, and it only makes me more determined because I cannot be stopped. And two, maybe, Justine, take it as a hint that your Courage Tuesdays need to be shorter. So, thank you for your grace. That I like. You're going to say hi to Rose really quickly, and I'm finishing my empathy teach here. And in reality, I pretty much was getting ready to wrap it up anyways. What I know for sure is that we do need empathy in this world. We also need accountability and boundaries. I can feel and know the difference between feeling for you and feeling with you, empathy versus sympathy. I can also know the difference between compassion. I do think both can motivate us towards compassion. Empathy, I can feel with you what you are going through. Sympathy, I take on your feelings. I feel sorry for you. I do think sometimes that's an important part of this human experience. I'm not sure that it helps people feel seen. Compassion, probably the most important though. It's where I act, where I behave, where I serve, where I show up and help, where I call people into their values and the truth and hold them accountable to what is okay and what's not okay in our relationship and for me, things like that. And so, once again, I am here. I'm going to keep showing up. Even though sometimes it feels like there's not a point to keep showing up, I'm going to keep showing up and teaching and modeling this work because I do believe that we need it now more than ever. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching.